Man, what a YCS. That was wild. We got Triff Gaming beating lame ass Tenpai in the finals. And the funniest part of Triff beating Tenpai in the finals is that they literally said fuck Tenpai on the next list. Literally, this nigga Jerome was like, hey, apologies to our runner up, but we're getting rid of that fucking Tenpai shit this format. So yeah, they started with the unlimited in the stream, so I guess I'm gonna go through the unlimiteds first, right? So Blaster, Pankatrops, so all four Dragon Rulers, right? This is actually what I predicted. I predicted Pankatrops, Tiger. I never in a million years would have guessed Airlifter as a card to come back off the list, but here we are. Effective literally fucking tomorrow, Monday, and I'm recording this on Sunday. Colossus, Ib, and then opening of the Spirit Gates back to 3. Apparently this card isn't an issue, so I guess we can just keep going, right? All these cards were semi-limited other than Airlifter and Spirit Gates, so it's good to keep going, right? Semi-limited, Cyberjar, hey, it's the year of Flip. Mimighoul, came out. Flip, I made those Flip Engine videos, and, we're ending the year on such a big card like Cyberjar coming back off the list now. The only reason I wouldn't play this in a flip deck is because it gives your opponent the ability to, basically take 5 cards. They basically draw 5 cards and then summon any level 4 lower monsters from those 5. So it's not like the best card to play in a modern scape, but it's nice that it's an option. We're seeing Jackalope and Tsuchinoko come back off the list, and I like these personally as level 3 extender options. Because these are like 2 of the best ones, and they allow you to basically dig into each other if they're discarded, which is like great. So I'm really happy to see or possibly test out these 2 guys in potential lists. But Ava, Beatrice is banned, so this card isn't doing as much as I thought it would, and yeah, it kind of makes sense that they're putting it up to 2 now. And then Monkey Board for the Pendulum deck. They're getting new support in March. Well, I say they. Before Mages are getting new support in March. And I think Monkey Board coming back is a nice just pat on the shoulder. Just like a good job, like hopefully you guys fucking succeed or whatever. Limited's where it gets a little spicy. So we have Chandra getting limited, and we have Sengen Kaiman getting limited. My prediction was going to be Hydra getting limited, but I wasn't really sure if that's something they would go for. Like, I thought either Hydra or Genroku would be the cards that they limit, but it does seem like Chandra does seem to be the strongest of the Tenpai monsters. Like, if you start with a Hydra, you may not be able to go full Tenpai OTK, but if you start with a Chandra, it's almost guaranteed, right? Whereas like Sengen Kaiman kind of got you to the Chandra. It's usually like the second one you summon off the like the second Tenpai you'd go for, and then you'd go for the green one, which I don't know its name. Phantom of Yubel, that's really interesting. I do not like the fact that they get to use multiple of these per turn. I think that's really the only nonsensical thing about Yubel, but otherwise I think the deck's fairly standard otherwise. And the funniest part about this list, right? I mean, we did just see Tenpai in the finals of this last YCS today, but it's like they made this list before crossover breakers, so they knew, like, if we're gonna make this list, we're gonna make this list without taking into account what a post crossover breakers format looks like. I mean, they probably have some foresight. They probably looked at OCG results and say, oh yeah, I mean, of course Ryzeal and Malice are going to do great. Maybe they didn't predict it was going to win the whole event, but yeah. And I think after watching that YCS, I was originally on the ban Moon of the Close Heaven train, but now that Ryzeal can just, like, we saw Triff make Requiem with a Evil Storm Exiton Knight, and so now I don't think Moon will get hit regardless of if Fiendsmith needs to be balanced at some point in the future. I do think Yubel getting hit was only a matter of time. I do think Barrage coming back is only a matter of time. I initially wanted Dryden back, but the issue with that is that if you bring Dryden back, Ryzeal's going to use it. If you bring Dryden back, Ryzeal can use a Trident if you bring both Barrage and Trident back at the same time. So that's why I kind of flip-flopped on that, because I didn't want Ryzeal to also have the ability to go like Trident plus Detonator, but I think this is a good middle ground. Now, I do wish MX Saber Invoker was on here. I wish, what else? Prank Kids Meow Moo was on here. There's a lot of stuff that I think should have also come off this list, but yeah. I think this is effective for the format. Tenpai is a little too strong. And Yubel, I don't think it needs to be checked. I'm also a little, I mean, personally, I thought Centurion also needed a little something to get checked, but maybe that was just Pack being Pack. Maybe Centurion isn't the crazy ass deck I thought it was. And the Forbidden list, which, I mean, Nightmare and Spiritualist is kind of crazy. I guess they don't want to kill Branded entirely by getting rid of Sanctifier. So they just said, hey, forget the Nightmare, forget Jowgen the Spiritualist, which seems like such a random hit, because who was actually playing this in 2024? I'm not too sure. Maybe this is more to prepare for that new Link 4 out of Supreme Darkness that summons back any light or dark monster. Maybe that's what it's really about. Since this is being a level 3, you could go into Cherubini and mill it, and then bring it back off the A-Bow. So maybe they decided not to go that route. But the one, you know, the big glaring original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye. Is Snake Eye dead? Well, Bonfire is still at 3. Deception of the Sinful Spoils now, what does it net you? Because it is not a Sinful Spoils card, meaning Mu Rusialago is essentially worthless now, because there's no good Sinful Spoils cards to search off of it. Dude, I think they just killed Azamina as an engine before it even came out. This does also hurt TG, right? But, you know, I was kind of expecting something to get hit. Either Wanted Poster or Diabalstar. I don't know how else. Oh, yeah, and shout outs to Triff, I guess, while we're here. I don't know how Azamina is going to cope from here. I think this is just a death of the Azamina engine entirely, and I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, it's just so weird, because now it's like, how do we play Yu-Gi-Oh with Azamina other than to just, like, now Sinful Spoils is like no longer an engine. You're gonna have to play like a Sinful Spoils deck, you know? Like, you can still use it to make an Omni Negate, I guess, and that could be like your game plan, but it just seems crazy to think about, like, what actually is the point of playing Sinful Spoils anymore? I can't really think of any. And now Rescue Ace, I mean, even with triple Airlifter, look, I played post Duelist Nexus when we had triple Airlifter, and the deck wasn't anything crazy. What made the deck crazy was the Sinful Spoils engine. I don't think this makes Rescue Ace any better than it was now. I think this makes Rescue Ace worse, because now they don't have access to an Omni Negate before they start their turn, unless you hard open the Sinful Spoils stuff. But you'd have to hard open the Sinful Spoils stuff plus Airlifter. So I don't really think that tracks. Shit, I think at this point, Rescue Ace goes back to Super Heavy. I'm gonna be real. Super Heavy might just be the best way to play Rescue Ace from this point on. Because how else do you make like some sort of interruption before you start your turn with Rescue Ace? And how do you consistently get to Airlifter without some sort of like combo that searches, you know, either Airlifter or Hydrant? And I think the only way to do that is to play something like Super Heavy Samurai. Or to, well, but Super Heavy isn't a good engine because it leaves a card in the spell and trap zone. So it's really awkward. It's really awkward. We're gonna have to go back to the lab. But good news is Goblin Biker Fiendsmith is completely untouched. Completely. So I can go about posting my combos. I was a little worried about like Wave King Caesar hit, potential Moon of the Closed Heaven hit, but without those in the way, I'll get to working on the Goblin Biker combo videos and meta guide for the next few weeks, because I think Goblin Biker is going to be the deck that I continue to focus on. I do like the triple Airlifter to bring me back into playing Rescue Ace. You know, they did just print it as an ultra rare, so I have my 3 ultras just sitting in my fucking box. But I just don't think it's a deck anymore. I mean, even with access to Dominus Impulse, you know, Molcharmies and the whole thing, I'm still not sure Rescue Ace is it. Now, this does mean that without Snake Eye in the picture, Promethean is going to be less of an issue. And I think that also means that Hida is going to be less common, meaning that more people are going to go back to Ash. Does this kill Fire King? I'm not sure if this kills Fire King as an engine or as a deck. I would assume it does, but it definitely, it takes Azamina out of Fire King, but does that mean Fire King is done? Is essentially my question. And that I'm not sure about. If they could maybe max out on their Fire King Island, and the market's gonna go crazy seeing this shit. I mean, the ultimate rare for this is probably gonna hit under $10. I bet you. No touch to Kashtira at all. Some people were calling for that. No touch to Shifter at all. Some people were calling for that. Malice is completely untouched, you know. Yeah, Fiendsmith as an engine just kind of just gets to keep playing. Like no even like slight acknowledgement that Fiendsmith is an issue. We're kind of just gonna keep vibing with it, and I guess that's cool. So yeah, dude, TG's gonna be even harder now. We have way less consistency, and there's really nothing we can do about it. Hey, at least Ubel gets 2 more starters. You guys can go back to playing the Chaos Summoning Beast, I guess, or something. Whatever the hell you guys did before this shit got limited. And yeah, otherwise, this ban list was not really that interesting, other than killing Snake Eyes. I thought a lot more would have been done, but I do also, like, I have a weird thing where it's like, I don't think the format needed a list. I think you could have waited another month or 2 and then did the ban list then, and I think it would have been a way better ban list, because then you would need to acknowledge stuff like Shifter, D-Barrier, Thrust. I doubt we're going to touch Moncharmies yet, but Moon of the Close Heaven, and Fiendsmith's still at full power. I mean, shit, that's wild. Get your tracks, get your engravers, get your fucking Lacrimas, Fiendsmith all the way, dude. This deck's gonna be crazy. Fiendsmith, Kashtira, untouched. 20 plus non-engine, and access to, you know, so much shit, untouched. Fiendsmith Ryziel, gaming. And yeah, it's been a fun day watching this YCS and experiencing this ban list, but that's gonna be all for this one. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are we gaming? Are we malding? Look, I don't want to hear any Tenpai players complaining, alright? Tenpai is not a skillful deck. Will Tenpai take skill now? Probably not, because Pydra and Genroku are still at 3. You just play more starters and you'll fucking be fine. Molcharmies are a thing. We're about to get another one. You just take the 4 cards that you lost, put in 3 more Molcharmies and, like, I don't know, something else, and you'll fucking be fine. So hope you guys enjoyed. This has been your boy Nistro here, signing out.